Adani Group founder and chairman Gautam Adani alongside 7 other executives have been indicted in the United States on charges of securities fraud, wire fraud and violations of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. The charges announced in Brooklyn Federal Court allege that the defendants orchestrated a complex bribery scheme to secure solar energy contracts in India and misled international investors to raise $3 billion. The Adani saga has taken a political turn and Congress leaders have demanded a JPC while the BJP has slammed the Congress. Leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi demanded the arrest of Adani Group chairman Gautam Adani following allegations of a multi-billion dollar fraud scheme. Addressing a press conference, Rahul Gandhi emphasized that the accusations must be thoroughly investigated and appropriate legal action should be taken. Taking a direct swipe at Prime Minister Modi, Gandhi alleged that the Prime Minister is shielding Adani from scrutiny. The BJP targeted the Congress, saying all the states mentioned in the indictment were at that time ruled by opposition parties. BJP MP Sambit Patra trained guns at Rahul Gandhi and the Congress, stating that if Adani is corrupt, then why are the Congress government seeking investment from his company? Well, we're going to talk about this and a lot more with our guest. Joining us on the show is Savio Rodriguez, BJP leader. Sujata Paul, Congress spokesperson, also joins us on the show. Sumit Peer, senior political commentator, with us on the program as well. Manasvi Thapar, political analyst and observer, will be joining us momentarily as well. Sujata Paul ji, I'll begin with you. Well, first of all, what do you make of what's happened right now? According to what we can gather and what we can see, there seems to be a coordinated, effort or a coordinated energy process that is going towards maligning the reputation of Gautam Adani and his company. The timing of this cannot be ignored, considering the fact that Donald Trump is going to take office in a month from now. There are links to the Canadian Pension Department as well. There are links to George Soros here as well. Somebody who's renowned for maligning India's reputation. Your thoughts on this, ma'am?
The fact is that when we talk about Mr. Adani is not India, please. And BJP spokespersons seem to have become the spokesperson of Mr. Adani. And you're saying that his reputation is being maligned. What are you trying to say? That the US federal agency is maligning the reputation of an Indian who's very close to the Prime Minister, a Prime Minister who's very close to the incumbent US President, incoming President of the US, Mr. Donald Trump. What are you saying? And then saying that the timing is suspect because Mr. Donald Trump takes office in a month from now. Does it even make sense? The fact is that when we are talking about Mr. Adani, in India, you have chief ministers going to jail merely on suspicion. And the BJP is, they go hammer and tongs saying that those people are corrupt even without investigation. And of course, we've seen what happened with Mr. Hemant Soren. And why was he allowed to, come out of jail by the courts of India? Because nothing has been found against him till now. But when we talk about Mr. Adani, when you have the FBI, and FBI is one of the prime investigating agencies of the world, and when they are saying that prima facie something has happened and there is an arrest warrant which has been issued against Mr. Gautam Adani, how can anybody, for that matter, say that things are all well, or everything is not changa anymore? Mr. Modi has been shielding Adani. Madhvi Buch has been put in a particular place to shield Mr. Adani so that he can, he can accumulate that money that can help Mr. Modi. The fact is that when we are talking about this particular issue, the contracts are related to the Indian government here, because the corruption charges say that Mr. Adani's company would get these US companies' contracts in India, meaning both the countries are linked here. So shouldn't he be arrested immediately? Should there be no investigation? I don't understand. There are so many allegations against him, but never has the ED called him. Never has the income tax gone to him. He is holier than thou because he is Mr. M's friend with a Miss M sitting to protect him in the share market. But you've seen what has happened today. It is our people's money which has gone down the drain. Who is suffering? We. And when money gets accumulated at one particular place, what will happen to the country's economy if that person gets shaken up in this particular manner? These are questions. These are very pertinent questions and very serious ones at that. So not just the JPC, but like my leader Rahul Gandhi, who has been saying constantly that Mr. Adani is in cahoots with Mr. Modi. Now we are being proved. Every stand of ours is being vindicated, and Mr. Adani should be arrested and investigated, and that is the most important thing. But Mr. Modi is going to protect him. Kenya, Australia, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and India. He is the biggest ghuspet here. In every system, he is the infiltrator who has got political asylum from Mr. Modi. That is the problem.
All right. Sumit Peer, would you want to respond to what Sujata Paulji had to say? This is obviously not good for Mr. Adani. Okay, let me take the word out India in terms of, Mr. Adani does not represent the entire India. But the fact of the matter is that, after Hindenburg, there was some sort of, a retribution, if we can call it, that the Adani company did receive. Do you think that something happening, within the span of just a few months after Hindenburg reeks of, a conspiracy?
Vineet, thanks for having me on your show, and let me make 8 or 10 points, and I hope nobody interrupts me because I didn't interrupt anybody. But let's not get into a shouting match. I'm just telling you in the beginning. First point is that, Vineet, what you see is a classical play of United States deep state, along with some Indian politicians and some vested interest to malign the image of India, to malign the image of Adani ji, and in turn malign the image of Prime Minister Modi. That is what the bigger game plan is. Point number 2. Joe Biden, who did not approve the use of ATCAMS on Eurasian mainland for 2.5 years, after changing of power, he suddenly approved that, and Russians are threatening the Ukraine and the world, and in fact the United States of America, with a nuclear attack. So if Joe Biden can put his country's people on a nuclear attack, this is nothing. Point number 3. George Soros' son, Alex Soros, has visited White House 17 times. I hope he was not invited there for a tea. Point number 4. All the US attorney generals, most of the DOJ offices are funded by George Soros. It is out in the open. It was more funding than 2016-10 elections. Point number 5. When these all alleged allegations happened, so was the New York State attorney having a spy satellite or a camera phone, or he had spied into everything, he knows thing by thing? Who validates this all allegations? Point number 6. By mere these allegations, 2 lakh crores have evaporated from the market. Last time such 2 fiascos happened, billions of dollars evaporated from Indian market. Who are the people who benefited from that onslaught? Mr. Rahul Gandhi came that too. He did 2 PCs. Then again he was proven wrong. Did he apologize? No, he did not apologize. Point number 7. What is the locus of Americans to have an investigation here? If you go by the logic that there was some American soil watchers, some American was involved, then all your suits pass through American banks. By that logic, Americans become the custodians of the world. They have the right to investigate anything. Point number 8. Whenever anybody produces power here, Vineet, it goes to the national grid. He doesn't have to bribe anybody to sell. Now, point number 9. We are the number 1 producer of the solar energy in the world, and we are the number 1 producers of photovoltaic cells, which are best in the world. Number 1 and number 3rd plant is in India. Number 1 farm and number 3rd farm is again in India. Point number 10. All these supposed alleged allegations, whatever are there, they happened in Congress ruled and opposite ruled states. If somebody has to be investigated for the sake of investigation, then start from these people and let them tell who did what. If Mr. Adani is such a corrupt man, why did you, as Mr. Rahul Gandhi, take thousands of crores of investment under your Raj and under your Darbar in that? Point number 12. Why did Mr. Revant Reddy, in his personal trust, what Sambit Padana rightly said, took 100 crore of donation from the most corrupt man on planet Earth, which is Mr. Adani, as per Congress, allegedly, and he's the biggest Ghuspetia. Why did you take money from him? Now, with all those 12 points which I have told you, it is a fiasco. All these geopolitical games are being played. Before Trump comes into office, you want to put world in a frenzy. You want to push world to a disaster and calamity. But in this game, what my problem is because we are responding without anything. Now, if tomorrow, if you are saying where the American court have an allegation, there was also one point of allegation at some Italian court that Mr. late Shri Rajiv Gandhi ji was involved in some Bofors scam and all. So, and if allegations you have to arrest Adani, then Rahul Gandhi is on bail. There is not an allegation. It's a bail given from a local court. Then what should Mr. Rahul Gandhi cancel the bail and go to the prison? Look, the rule of the law prevails as per the laws of the country. If there is something which has to be investigation, if something, India will look into it. We will not take dictations from America, and people over here should not take dictations from America and start jumping that America is the true virtue of epitome and justice. Is the same America which tried to scuttle Donald Trump's election. He was 3 assassination attempts happened on him. And what does Donald Trump has to say about FBI, CIA and all? They all need to be revamped. The Department of Justice needs to be revamped. These are some hard facts. We need 17 or 16 I put in the public domain. Now let people happen and decide. And last 2 fiascos, the money which people of India lost, who is responsible for that? If Shri Rahul Gandhi ji would have not jumped the gun and started putting all kind of allegations on this, it would have not happened. If Adani is a Modi's man, why thousands of crores of investments you are taking from him? Have you cancelled his tenders? Why are you Chief Minister taking 100 crore donation in his personal trust? These are some of the pertinent questions we should answer. And when we take over China in the FDI, China has a problem. When we take China in the green energy, they have a problem. And who is the initiator of the global the Suryaputra Alliance or the Sun Solar Energy conclave or the movement? It is India. Biofuels, India. IMAC, India. So if the 21 reasons which I put in front of you, Vineet, there are enough reasons for people and vested interest to scuttle this. And by the virtue of that, they know if Adani's name comes as a Gujarati, he will link it with Modi and a political fiasco will happen here. The impression will give to the world, India is corrupt. It is unfit for investigation and investment not karo when we are reaching the 4th largest economy. So there will be powers in the world which will do everything to scuttle us. And this is one of those games. If it can happen to Donald Trump, it can happen to anybody. Why not us? Last point I want to make you. Look at Nancy Pelosi. $240 million of net worth. Tankha kitni thi? $2 lakh per year. So 10-20 years in service, 400,000, 4 million. She's worth 240 million. Ask FBI and CI to investigate her. Obama, $1.3 million today, few $100 million. So where did Obama get few $100 million? And what is the Nikki Haley? She was bankrupt. She joined Lockheed Martin. Now she's a multi-millionaire, touching $1 billion. Where did she get that money? So guys at FBI, US and wherever if you're seeing this, kindly go and investigate them. Then we will talk who is corrupt and who is not. It's none of your business. Get the hell out of here.
Savio Rodriguez, where do you stand on this? $250 million is what the bribery amount has been mentioned in that affidavit, which amounts to 2,100 crores. In crony capitalism throughout the world, Savio, I'm not sure if there is a government which has survived or a business which has survived without bribing its way to get things done in a country like India, or for that matter, even a country like the United States. Do you think this is the case of singling out and isolating someone for the sake of perhaps personal ulterior motives? This is just a thought I'm putting out.
Vineet, on a lighter note, I'm not going to take a stand because I'm sitting down. So let me actually.
But you're a big fan of George Soros, I know that.
Let me put out my views very objectively. See, the first thing, what we need to put out of the way, whatever be the merits of the indictment against Adani, it is for them to clarify, it is for them to defend and to decide the outcome. But what I am most concerned about are 2 points. Okay, so the first point is what I'm going to bring out to you. Adani, of course, anybody who thinks Adani is India is somebody that is assuming that everything to do with India is Adani, and that's not true. But what Adani certainly is, like many other companies in India, it is a growing company and it is going progressively well, not only in India, but also in the international markets. Now, whether you agree with me or not, Indian companies that are creating a foothold in foreign countries and are doing well at a global level are going to become victims of any espionage or rivalry that is happening at a global level. And that is something that we are going to see with Adani, we're going to see with other companies that grow as exponentially as Adani is doing over the last couple of years. So you're going to have that rivalry, you're going to have people who are going to target those companies. There are going to be certain places outside of India where they're going to be targeted, and Adani's had a share of problems as a company in different parts of the world, and that is expected. The real aspect when you come to this particular case for us to understand is, yes, firstly, I don't agree with Ms. Paul that when she says that FBI is one of the most prominent. FBI is in the world. FBI is only related to the United States of America. And the United States of America cannot dictate to India or to the rest of the world what they consider to be right or what they consider to be wrong. They have got an indictment against Adani and 7 other executives of the company. It goes through the process of its investigation and the court, and they will arrive at a decision. But because the FBI has said it, and because it's in a US court, does not make it absolutely clear that we should consider it to be gospel truth. Though America would like to think that they are the preachers of the gospel, right? Now, having said that, what is most important for us as Indians to understand, if we go into that case itself, that the allegations that have been leveled, while they are leveled at Adani, they are also being focused on the states that have got Congress and other opposition leaders who are ruling or governing those at this point of time. Whether it is Congress itself, whether it's BJD, whether it's DMK, or whether it's Reddy as well. So the point is, you have been going around, in particular Rahul Gandhi and the Congress has been going around for the last several months talking about Adani. The question is, it is hypocritical when you look at it as a person looking at it from far. You will see it is hypocritical because you are taking money from Adani. You are taking donations from Adani. Right now, even in this case, the allegations are in those states. So why are they targeting Adani per se and the BJP? Of course, Adani will have relations with all governments. That's what businessmen do. Businessmen have relationships with all governments, and whether they are legitimate or not are primarily for investigations. But what is important for the Congress and the opposition leaders to tell the people of India is, if you did take money and bribery money as alleged by the US indictment, then why are you shying away from telling the people of India the truth? That you too have taken or slept with Adani in some form or the other, just like you would with any other business person. Don't be holier than thou. The grey areas of business and politics is something that has been known for decades. We all know how certain people in the Congress took Warren Anderson away, who was a business guy, during that horrific Bhopal gas tragedy. So politics and business has always been interconnected, and it's a reality. The fact of the matter is that we should be able to ensure that there is transparency as far as relationships between business houses are concerned and political parties and political leaders are concerned, so that the fate of the people of this country is not diminished. Now that the US has made this allegation and this indictment, Adani will have to do whatever is responsible as far as the legal aspect is concerned. But to bring entire India or the BJP into the allegations of Adani is actually really foolish, if you were to ask me. Second, and the most important aspect with regards to the stock markets. The stock markets haven't fallen today. If you have been tracking the stock markets, which I do, they have been falling for the last 10 days. And they were at 84. They've come down to 78 yesterday. Today they are at 79 points of the BSE. The point is this, that the volatility happening around the global world, the concern of a world war, which is driven again by the actions taken by the US with regards to the Russia-Ukraine war, the actions taken by the US with the Israel-Iran, Hamas-Hezbollah war, is creating uncertainty in the stock markets. Adani's having an indictment is not going to hamper the stock market. The Hindenburg tried it before, it did not work. But it is important, like I said, for businesses and political parties that have relations, like in the case of Adani, as alleged with BJP, the same relationship also lies with the Congress and other political parties. So why is Congress not talking about that? Why does Rahul Gandhi
Okay. All right. Sujata ji wants to respond, but before that, Sujata ji, just 1 second, Sujata ji. I'll take your response with all due respect, but Manasvi has been extremely patient. Let's listen in from him also. Manasvi, this is a ploy to malign Mr. Adani, or do you think that this is perhaps the normal way of doing business? When you get too big, this is the price you pay for getting too big.
I don't think so. I don't think so entirely. That's the way. I feel it is too. You are one of the richest person of India and of the world, and the entire world or America is against you. That would not be the case. You are there to do business. It's a report. It's an indictment which has come out, and I don't think that anything is wrong. So what is happening in our country is that if Adani is brought into a limelight of such kind of an issue, be it an Hindenburg report or this indictment, the entire lobby of BJP supporters try to support him. I don't know why. On the contrary, they should be the first people to say if corruption is there, if there is something, if there is a SEBI head which has been complicit, we should investigate. And I don't know why this government or the supporters of BJP are running away from these kind of investigations. The first time India had a JPC was in for scandal. Rajiv Gandhi government post that in 1987 allowed JPC to happen. Harshad Mehta scam faced JPC. 2G spectrum, while Congress was in power, they allowed JPC. VVIP chopper scam in 2013, Congress allowed it. When the opposition demanded for a JPC, they allowed for it. I don't know what is the fear of this present government. They are not. The opposition is not asking for a scam of the government to be investigated. A scam of a private entity is being asked by the opposition to go for a JPC. What is that so much of scare for the government or its supporter that they don't want to get into JPC, and they would want to say that Soros is behind Adani and India? Soros is not even 1% the wealth of Adani. Soros is not even 0.001% that he could nail or do anything against our country. Let's not fear that these individuals can take our country down. India is much stronger than these individuals. So why do we want to create an atmosphere of fear that पूरी एक दुनिया की लॉबी लगी हुई है देश को बर्बाद करने के लिए, अदानी का नाम खराब कर रहे हैं, मोदी जी का नाम खराब नहीं. सिंपल है, एक आदमी ने अगर करप्शन के चार्जेस, if there are corruption charges against him, that needs to be investigated. It's a simple thing. If corruption charges are against me, you or anyone, that needs to be investigated. That is anti-national. When you protect such individuals or leave protection, when you even say that investigation is not even required, just because Congress took money from Adani, he should be exempted. No, I think on the contrary, Congress is much more courageous. They took money from Adani. They are right now questioning Adani. That's how a democracy should function. But why do we want to create an atmosphere कि कोई अगर गलत information मिल रही है, even if Adani does not have anything wrong to do, even then investigate. Bring him that he's clean. Let that investigation happen. Why do we want to? My question is, why do we want a closure before something starts? The investigation is good for our country, it's good for our securities market, it's good for Adani if there's nothing wrong. It's good for BJP that they could show that yes, we are ready for investigation and he should be investigated like any other corporate house.
Okay, all right. Okay, so all right.
Last point.
Okay, go on.
Yeah. What is happening is Adani's issue came, Congress being in opposition gave a press conference. What was the need of the BJP to come and clarify कि हमारी सरकार नहीं थी भैया, किसी और की सरकार थी? Investigation. Talk about investigation ना. Are you going to investigate an individual corporate house or not? Simple. It ends there. दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी. Investigation हो जाएगा आपको FBI में.
All right. Okay. Sujata ji, you wanted to come in. Go ahead, please.
Yes. When we are talking about Congress governments and Adani, we have no problem. Go investigate them also. We are saying that there should be due process of law, and we must not forget that Mr. Adani has risen, with great speed after Mr. Modi has come. But even that is immaterial. However, whenever you talk about any industrialist, any small businessman also, you know very well that if there are any charges, they should be investigated. What is the problem in investigating Mr. Adani? It simply means that you don't want to investigate him, rather you are trying to protect him. My simple point is that if you are trying to justify that Mr. Revant Reddy's government has taken some donation from him or some other person who's connected to the Congress party, what is the problem in investigating them? Go ahead and investigate everybody. but investigate Mr. Adani. He's a businessman and he can always make mistakes, right? He can always indulge in corruption, and if this time the charges are coming from the US, what is happening is, I just heard Mr. Sumit Peet talking about Nikki Haley, Obama, Nancy Pelosi, and the FBI, not investigating them. I mean, is this even logic? We are talking about Mr. Adani. Let's focus on him. He is protected by the government of India, and the BJP has proved it by Sambit Patra's PC. We are saying you have to find out if he has done any wrong. And if he is such a huge businessman, isn't it a possibility that you could see as a media person that, of course, he could be indulging in corruption. The charges here are of corruption, and it's a huge amount of money. He said that he will be able to get contracts from the Indian government for those companies in the US. What does this prove? This proves that he is in cahoots with the government of India, is what he's saying, and therefore the government of India should distance themselves from him and carry out an investigation. That is my point. What is wrong with that?
All right, we've run out of time. Sumit, 10 seconds to you. We've completely run out of time. Do you think, as Manasvi put it, is this good for the Adani Group? Do you concur with that? First of all, answer that for me.
First of all, Vineet, it doesn't matter what Adani does. He will clear.
No, but do you think it's good for the Adani Group that this is happening?
If somebody is trying to get him into a mess, it is not good for him, because at the end of the day, last time also he got into mess twice, and then both the times he came up clean. But ask Adani, who lost billions of dollars in that. Ask his shareholders who lost money in that, and some of them have even lost the money today. It's not good for him, it's not good for India, it's not good for the shareholders. The problem is today, Vineet, I'll tell you just today, there are more than 62,000 cases of what nature we are talking right now. They are registered and they are in courts. How many cases did Mr. Rahul Gandhi talk upon? Why does he only pick up Mr. Adani and then relate him to Modi and say this is Modi because he's protecting Adani? And point number 2 is, America cannot dictate us which case to pick up, which matter to pick up. If it's an Indian court will investigate like last time, let them go ahead and investigate anybody. What is Adani, or Tata, anybody. But Americans cannot set us the thing. Why did I take up Nancy Pelosi, this Nikki Haley and Obama? Is because if there are so much virtues of justice and all that, they are custodians of global good. Why don't they advise?
All right, okay. Manasvi, quickly, Manasvi, 10 seconds.
I agree with Sumit that America cannot dictate us, but the problem here is a news comes in America, our market reacts, our shareholders lose money, our investors are losing money.
But our market reacts to everything. Our market reacts to everything.
My question is, it is for a particular group. So why isn't the government coming out clean for investigation? छोटी सी चीज है, investigate करो, because this group is not such any Tom Dick Harry group. It's a biggest group of our country, and it has been complicit.
There is a theory, Manasvi, that we survived the COVID pandemic. The market survived the COVID pandemic as a result of the resilience which was shown by the Adani Group and the Reliance Group. I'm going to leave with that thought. This is just a theory. I'm not sure whether that's true or not, but we have completely run out of time.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.